How you doing, America? I'm Bry Cox, BryCoxWorkshops.com. I'm happy to be here on Sandy's show, and we are here in Chicago at PhotoWorld. And I just finished speaking yesterday. I did a program for Adobe on Lightroom and Photoshop, just teaching people how to work through those programs as quick as possible. And really, that comes from just doing everything right in the camera. The faster and the better you can do things in the camera, the faster your workflow gets. And then today I was doing some stuff in the trade show, particularly on sales, and I thought it'd be good to kind of maybe share some of that stuff with you guys. So a couple things. I'm just kind of referencing my books here. This is my Smart Secrets book, and this is my Powerful Sales Secrets book. And they're tattered because these are my own copies that I use as references and read myself on planes. So there's a common thing that I've been hearing, and it also comes from a consultation I had with a photographer this last week. And I was talking to her because she was talking about her prices, and she wanted to get out of selling just digital files into products because she wasn't able to sell any more than a certain line. She had this line, and for her it was $400. For $400, everybody got everything, and there was no way to ever move up. And we were talking about bigger sales in the thousands, and she was like, I'll never be able to do that. I'm like, why not? Why can't you? And she was like, but you don't know me. You don't know my area. You don't know my town. And I was like, come on, your town cannot be smaller than my town, right? And she's a good photographer. And I was like, here's the thing, is right now you're giving nobody any options, and you're listening to the wrong clients. And so what I want to reference here, I talk about here in my book, you probably don't have it, but it's on page 79, if you do have it. But it's called the Pareto Principle, and Pareto was an economist from Italy. And he was doing some research, and he realized that 80% of the wealth in Italy was held in 20% of the people's hands. And he did more research, and he started realizing there's a split, an 80-20 split, with really everything that has to do with human behavior. And what that means is, like, we can look at our business, we can look at our clients, without even using our sales software or doing any kind of reporting. We can look at our software and go, guess what? 80% of our sales come from 20% of our clients, and the other 20% of our sales come from 80% of our clients. And similarly, we can say the same thing about our time. That 20% of our time brings 80% of our return, and 80% of our time brings 20% of our return. So the question is, referencing this photographer that I consulted with when she was saying, nobody in my town, you don't understand, nobody, that's not going to fly in my area. Because no other photographer, right? We can say it about photographers. No photographer in my area is doing this. It's the same thing. The point is, who is she listening to? She's listening to 80% of the people that are paying the least amount with her. And she's listening to, and she's also comparing herself to 80% of the photographers that are charging the least. And we could almost like stack all the photographers in the area by price, and it would be like a gazillion at zero price, because everyone wants to shoot for free if it gives you portfolio work. And then who's charging the most, right? It's like kind of like a triangle. There's not that many people charging the most. And the point is, you can separate yourself from all the people on the bottom that are charging zero or not much at all by just charging more and giving people options. And what you do is you can eliminate that bottom 80% of the people that are paying almost nothing, and you can focus and free up 80% more free time to focus on those top 20% of the clients that are spending 80% of your money. So it sounds a little maybe number crazy, right? A lot of 20 and 80, I'm going back and forth, but let's think about it for a second. So you got 100% of your clients. 80% are only spending 20%. If you can eliminate them, let's just say you fire them. You don't really want to fire them. You want to convince them to spend more and say, come with me, come in my big tent over here. Look what I'm doing. I'm creating something amazing. It's awesome. I'm giving you better and better stuff, and I'm giving you more service and better products. Come with me up here and just spend a little more. Some will, some are just going to go, hey, I can't, you know. They're going to go the other direction. That's just fine. But those 20%, a lot of people don't realize that they'll spend more, and you probably don't realize they'll spend more, but there are 20% of your clients that will spend a lot more. And imagine if you had a lot more free time, if you could just free up all that time, right? Who complains the most? Who's calling you all the time? Who's wanting more and more and more free stuff and wanting to dicker and deal and try to get your prices low, right? Who is it? It's those bottom 80% of the people. That's not to say that people that'll spend more won't try to dicker with you as well, but they are going to complain far less. They're going to spend a lot more easily, and like, what's the correct adverb here? And but the point is that everything's going to be easier, and what kind of referrals you're going to get with more free time. If you can focus on these top people, do you feel like sometimes those top people fall through the cracks because you're spending so much time with the 80% of the people spending almost nothing, right? So this does not matter if you're the cheapest photographer, the middle photographer, the highest end photographer. This applies no matter where you are. And even right now in my business, I feel like I'm undervalued. People say I'm one of the highest photographers or highest priced photographers in Utah. I don't know, probably am. But I'll tell you what, there's probably people that charge more than me, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not comparing myself to anybody. What I am comparing myself is to where am I now compared to where I was before, and where am I now compared to where I want to be. And I don't really worry about what everybody else is doing. If anything, I just try to separate myself out from them with a lot of ways: service, better products, more customization, and more distinguishable price. So you can think about that and think about your time, right? The kind of clients you want to deal with, the kind of clients you want to work with, the kind of photographers you're following. Like, what kind of photographers do you, like when I see people post online, what kind of camera does everybody use? Question mark, and then it goes all these answers, and they just go buy a camera. Like, really? You're going to ask a bunch of people that shoot blurry photos. You don't know who they are. They're anonymous photographers that post blurry stuff, right? You don't know how successful they are. You don't know how much money they're making. You don't know how happy their clients are. You don't know how long they've been in business. You're just throwing out this answer, this question into the universe, and you're taking an answer and you're taking that as gold. And the problem is that in many ways, if we can eliminate the 80%, in a lot of ways, eliminate 80% of our wasted time, eliminate 80% of the clients that don't spend as much, eliminate 80% of the photographers that we're following that maybe just aren't the best people to follow, that aren't that successful. We might be inspired by sometimes their art or something like that, but we can distinguish that between success and maybe their art, right? That frees us up in so many ways, and it helps us grow, and it helps us be more successful. I have some clients that sometimes will spend so much money, and at the same time I'm thinking, I know there's more people like that. How do I find more people like that? I find more people like that with more free time, paying those kinds of clients more attention and giving them a lot more service, a lot more gratitude for their business, right? That kind of stuff. That's the idea. Is there is no real secret. People always like, what's your marketing secret? Like, I don't know if I have a marketing secret. There's nothing. I have things that I sell. I have books. I have tutorial DVDs on lighting. I have nothing on marketing because I don't believe I can package something and give it to you and it's going to work for you in your area. Because everybody's business is different. Your clients are different. All I know is that principles work. And the principles of marketing is just getting in front of people and doing a great job for them and asking for referrals. And I guess I should package that up. Don't forget just what you just learned, America. That's coming out in a new DVD that'll cost $1,000. I'm kidding. No, but seriously, that's all it is. So think about the 80-20 rule and how that applies. And then the next big thing I can recommend is to be a reader. I have books. I actually have a new DVD on sales because so many people say, I don't want to read your book. I just want to know what the information is. Do you have it in some other form? So I am making a DVD on my sales book that'll be out here very soon. But still, aside from my books, I have, of my close friends, 3 of my best friends are retired millionaires. Okay, so, and I compare my friends with people I meet, either speaking or around or anywhere, and the conversations we have are different than the conversations we have. Now, I'm not retired millionaire. I'm not going to try to pretend that I am. But I will tell you this, is that we all get along because we all have the same success mentality, and that mentality is personal growth and learning constantly. And I could ask any one of my friends what they're reading, and they will pull out 2 or 3 books. at any one time. This is what I'm reading right now. This is what I'm reading. I got a couple books right now in my briefcase for my flight here and back. I read a book, last week when I was at WPPI. And I'm constantly just trying to get information into me. And that's a difference with, I think, people today compared to, I think, people many years ago. Many years ago, people used to read a lot. Like you think about like Lincoln-Douglas debates, right? Compared, I'm not trying to get into politics, but think about those debates went on for 6 hours. One guy would speak for 3 hours, the other guy would speak for a couple hours. They'd come back with an hour and a half rebuttal, and people would sit there and listen. They had the ability to have cognitive thought and focus for that many hours. Nowadays, people can't concentrate that long. People just want quick stuff. And I think one of the best ways that you can be successful in business is try to eliminate the crap in your life. Think of the 80% of the stuff you use your time with as just maybe just gobbling up. It's just crap, right? Get rid of that stuff and focus on positive things you can do. We all have to shower every day because we get dirty no matter what. Similarly, we have to constantly read because we're bombarded with crap in life. We have to read, we have to exercise. You can't expect to be healthy later in life without just doing little things. Not big things, little things that are the right things every day. And those little things add up. So let me just close. I have a quote. And this isn't a quote from me, but it's a quote on reading. And it's comparing basically the idea that today we are bombarded with information. We have so much more information than, say, Abraham Lincoln had when he was a kid. And yet, where are all the Lincolns today? Right? He was a self-made man because he focused on learning. So here's the quote. We have thousands of times more available information than Thomas Jefferson or Abraham Lincoln. Yet which one of us would think ourselves 1,000 times more educated or more serviceable to our fellow man than they? The sublime quality of what these two men gave us, including the Declaration of Independence and the Gettysburg Address, was not attributable to their great resources of information, for their libraries were comparatively small by our standards. Theirs was the wise and inspired use of a limited amount of information. Available information widely used is far more valuable than multiplied information allowed to lie fallow. So again, think about the information you're taking into yourself and what you're doing on a daily basis, and really focus on what you think is the most valuable. And for me, I think of things that are wisdom-oriented, things that are knowledge-oriented, and things that are positive in me and my own personal growth, and what I can do for not only myself, but for my business. Because I think in business, especially when you're self-employed, you are your business, your values are your business's values. So there you go. There's my thoughts for today. I hope that helps you, America. Again, check out my stuff if you're at all curious. My name is Bry Cox, B-R-Y-C-O-X. My website's brycoxworkshops.com, and we are on SPTV. So thank you, Sandy, for having me. And until next time, America.